Venus, often referred to as Earth's twin due to its size and proximity, has been a subject of intense curiosity, but for all the wrong reasons. For decades, scientists and space agencies have wondered if life could exist on this hellish planet, with its scorching temperatures, crushing atmospheric pressure, and toxic clouds. The Soviet Union in particular harbored an obsession with Venus that spanned more than 30 years, launching a series of missions aimed at unlocking the mysteries of this hostile world. But did they discover life, or did they simply reveal the planet's sheer hostility to human existence? Today, we dive into the fascinating and often tragic history of the Soviet Union's Venus missions and what they truly found. In the early 1960s, the Soviet Union, determined to dominate the space race, set its sights not on the moon or Mars like the United States, but on the unthinkable, Venus. While the world's attention was focused on the moon, the Soviet Union launched its ambitious Venera program, beginning with the launch of Venera 1 in 1961. This was just 4 years after the Soviets shocked the world with the launch of Sputnik, the first artificial satellite. But Venus was no easy target. Unlike the moon, which was a barren but stable environment, Venus was a chaotic inferno, shrouded in clouds of sulfuric acid and with surface temperatures that could melt lead. The Soviet Union's early attempts to explore Venus were, for the most part, catastrophic. Yet with every failure, the Soviet determination grew stronger. They would not give up on Venus. The first successes came in 1967 with the launch of Venera 4. This mission wasn't just a flyby. It was designed to enter the planet's atmosphere and transmit data back to Earth. When it succeeded, humanity received its first direct data from the atmosphere of another planet. The data revealed a planet far more hostile than anyone had anticipated. Temperatures that could melt lead, an atmosphere dense with carbon dioxide, and clouds made of sulfuric acid. There was no sign of life, just a planet teeming with extreme conditions. But the Soviets were relentless. They continued to improve their designs, sending more probes, and with each attempt, they got closer to Venus's surface. By 1970, they launched Venera 7, the first spacecraft to successfully land on Venus. It transmitted data from the surface for the first time. This was a monumental achievement. Humanity had touched down on another planet. The images that came back from Venus's surface were haunting. No rivers, no oceans, just jagged rocks stretching out to a horizon concealed by thick clouds. Venus wasn't the lush, Earth-like world scientists had hoped for. The surface was an unforgiving wasteland. Yet the Soviets weren't discouraged. They wanted more data, more insights. In 1982, Venera 13 and Venera 14 landed on Venus, surviving the extreme conditions long enough to send back stunning panoramic images of the surface. These images showed a barren landscape, one that looked like it hadn't changed for eons. However, the images weren't just a stark reminder of the planet's desolation. They revealed something important. The planet had once been volcanically active. Data from Venera 13 suggested that Venus's surface was composed primarily of basalt-like rock. This gave scientists clues about the planet's geological history and its past. Despite the inhospitable environment, there were still those who hoped that Venus might harbor life, at least in some form. The mysterious black rag seen in images from Venera 13 only fueled these speculations. Some believed this could be evidence of living organisms, while others argued it was simply a technical malfunction. Yet, given the extreme heat, pressure, and sulfuric acid rain, it's highly unlikely that life, as we understand it, could exist on Venus. The probe's images were more likely to show evidence of a mechanical anomaly, not biological activity. As space exploration advanced, so did our understanding of Venus. In 2010, Japan's Akatsuki probe set out to study Venus, and while it faced its own setbacks, it eventually succeeded in orbiting the planet and studying its atmospheric conditions. And just recently, NASA's Veritas mission was launched to map Venus's surface and study its geological history in high resolution. These modern missions aim to answer the long-standing questions about Venus's evolution and the potential for future exploration. Now you might be asking, why does this matter? What can we possibly learn from a planet that seems so unsuitable for life? Well, scientists are now turning their attention to Venus for a different reason. Could it be the next frontier for human colonization? It might sound insane given Venus's extreme conditions, but there are pockets in its atmosphere, around 50 kilometers above the surface, where pressure and temperature are more Earth-like. This region could potentially host floating cities. While the surface remains uninhabitable, these cities would float above the clouds, shielded from the harsh conditions below. Using advanced technologies, we could create habitats that are self-sustaining, allowing humans to survive in Venus's upper atmosphere, where the pressure is similar to that of Earth's surface. So what can we learn from the Soviet Union's decades-long obsession with Venus? It wasn't just about sending probes to another planet. It was about pushing the boundaries of human curiosity and determination. The missions to Venus weren't just failures. They were stepping stones that brought us closer to understanding the universe around us. While Venus might not be the next Earth, its exploration has expanded our horizons. And in the future, Venus could even hold the key to space colonization. We might one day live in floating cities in the clouds of Venus, and that thought is both thrilling and terrifying. Venus reminds us of the infinite possibilities of space exploration, and the fact that sometimes the greatest discoveries come from pushing beyond the limits of what seems possible.